Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow speakers. Allow me to share a few thoughts and few ideas with you on the opportunities and the challenges that we're facing now in our great journey for to transitioning our economy from fossil to renewable energy based. Just a quick look on where we stand today. The recently inaugurated government on 20th October have announced a high growth economy scenario of 8% per annum. So with that, the rise in energy demand will also increase significantly. But we, Indonesia, must align itself to our commitment to decarbonize our economy by 2060. We in Indonesia, we are blessed with abundant renewable energy sources, about 3,700 of gigawatts, of which 3,300 of it comes from solar energy. So we have significant and abundant renewable energy sources. However, the pace of energy transition has been rather slow. We have seen that from the total energy mix, only 14% consists of renewable energy. If we look at the current status of our energy today, 61% of Indonesia's total energy comes from the comes from coal-fired power plants, which is of abundance in Indonesia. In addition, for your information, in Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia, we have in and around Jakarta, we have 6 coal-fired power plants generating 9 gigawatts of power, which is basically power to electrify the nation's capital and its surrounding. It contributes much of the energy required, but also contributes to much of the pollution, aside from, of course, the transportation sector. And Indonesia is targeting to build up its oil and gas capacity by 1 million barrels per day of oil production by 2030. We are now currently at about 600,000 barrels per day of oil production. But mind you, that the increase in oil and gas production will serve as a feedstock for further industrial and manufacturing capabilities that we are trying to enhance domestically. It will serve as feedstock for the petrochemical sector, for the production of plastics, for the production of fertilizers, etc. And with that, I will come to the most important thing, which is the challenges that we're facing today. Energy security is of paramount importance to us. But then the question is, shall we then move forward with energy security by way of developing renewable energy sources and then reducing our dependence on fossil fuel? Or how should we do this? Should one be prioritized over the other? We have learned during COVID and after COVID that any energy crisis, nations will revert to their domestic resources. Domestic resources, what they have, be it coal, be it nuclear, whatever they have will be then put in place again. We will learn from that, so energy security is of paramount importance to us. But our commitment remains strong for transition in our energy. We also face key challenges. One is that of regulation. We have several regulations in place at the moment, but we need revised regulations, new laws to be put in place. We are looking at, for instance, we are looking to pass the renewable energy bill, hopefully before end of this year. We're looking to renew the electricity bill. We're looking to renew the oil and gas bill to be in line with our commitment to decarbonize our economy by 2060. We are also going to most likely revise the geothermal law, because we have seen over the past years that the investments in the geothermal activities in the geothermal space has been reduced instead of increasing activities in that sector. We also look at technology. Indonesia needs to speed up its manufacturing industrial base to be able to get most of the advantage that the renewable energy industry will provide going forward. Indonesia's domestic economy must take advantage of that. By doing so, we will have to beef up our technological base, our industrial manufacturing base, including our human resources. Now, this is very important for our human resources to be upskilled and reskilled to be able to capture any technological upside. Last but not least, it's always financing. Financing is always the issue here. To achieve our goal by 2060 for net zero emission, we require $700 billion of new investments. That is not a small amount, ladies and gentlemen. We are, from now until 2060, we have 35 years to go. If we break it down, $700 billion by 35 years, we're looking at $20 billion of new investments per annum. And this is a very challenging amount for us to raise going forward unless we are assisted by fellow countries, by fellow bankers, by nations, by donors, etc. What needs to be done? Yes, I've seen your 3 minutes remarks. What needs to be done now? First and foremost, we need to pass the Renewable Energy Bill. And this is my commitment. Although I'm Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, but I'm also a member of Parliament, member of the Energy Commission, which is in charge of passing the bill, the Renewable Energy Bill. And this is something we're looking to pass before year end. Funding requirements and sources is also something very important for us, because we need to put the right structure, the right deals in the table to be able to tap the right financing pools that are available in the market, which are limited. But if we can structure the right deals, I think we are able to finance the required amounts that we need to develop our renewable energy sector. Mandatory local requirements. It is by law mandatory to use local content in Indonesia. To be able to do so, we also have to increase the capacity of our industrial and manufacturing base to be able to capture, as I mentioned. The renewable energy development going forward should be for the advantage of the Indonesian economy. So this is something that is also very important. Last but not least, it is also very important for us, while we are transitioning, while this transition takes time, we need to put the acceleration phase into action. Among the other things is what I put in terms as electrifying the nation. For instance, electrifying the transportation sector, electrifying the especially public transportation, reduce people from using their personal transportation. So we need to put in place a greater public transportation which is based on EVs, and this is something very important for us. We're electrifying also the household sector. At the moment, about 80% of Indonesians, we use LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, for cooking. If we can change that into electrical means, this will be also a major game changer. Last but not least, the industry. Industry needs also be electrified. At least put up solar rooftops for you to reduce the energy emissions that you require. We have also already put a halt on new coal-fired power plants, and this is a very stringent policy that we will keep intact. And Indonesia has also abundant of biofuel sources. We are looking at today we're using B35, biodiesel 35, from CPO, from palm kernel oil, from other sources of palm. We have abundant sources of sugarcane, cassava, which can be used as sources of biofuel. We are also aiming to be a hub for sustainable aviation fuel based on the supply of biofuels that we have, including what recently is very popular, used cooking oil. This is something that we are also looking at develop. Indonesia has successfully managed to mix 5% sustainable aviation fuel, and this has been successfully demonstrated in a flight about 2 years ago, and we're trying to increase this amount. So Indonesia is somewhat on its right track in developing biofuel as an alternative. This is something. These are the opportunities. These are the challenges that we're facing. I see a bright light at the end of the tunnel, but this cannot be done by Indonesia alone. We will have to be able to collaborate. We'll have to work together with all parties, and this objective is not Indonesia's alone. It is it's a global objective. It's the objective of nations, of governments, of countries. So I hope COP29 will become a global platform for us to collaborate together in the future. Thank you very much.